Welcome, class, to our next video lesson. Today we'll be looking at section 3-3, mean, median, and mode. And in case you're wondering what happened to 3-1 and 3-2, well, we'll go over that stuff later. It's just, it's too simple and not worth our time focusing on such trivial things as what's in those sections. So we're looking at mean, median, mode today. Now, before we go on, we do need to define these words, all right? And instead of me writing it down, I thought I would just try out the fancy, schmancy textbook. Looky there. We've got a textbook right here. And let's see if we can get it to focus in right there. There we go. Bring that into clarity. So, first word that I would like you guys to write down. I want you to write this down on your notebook paper because it'll be on your note quiz. I want you to write down mean, median, and mode are measures of central tendency. Are measures of central tendency of a collection of data. You don't need to write down the rest of this. You don't need to write down these examples. Just write down this first sentence. If you want, you can always open up your textbook to page 139 and copy down this first sentence. You will need it for your note quiz. Next, we have this definition right here of mean. You should have your textbook with you, so I want you to copy down the definition of mean into your textbook. The mean is the sum of the data values divided by the number of data values. Now, at first, this might sound confusing. You might be like, what is that even talking about? Well, you will get a better idea as we go on. All right. Another word or words that you will have to define are the following that you will see. You need to also define median, which is right here. The median is the middle number when data values are written in order and there is an odd number of data values. So like over here, if you have an odd number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 numbers total, odd number, it's the middle number. If you have an even number, like if I were to add a 1 right here, it would be, the new middle number is now these two, 4 and 5. So I would add them together and divide by 2, and that would get me my new median, okay? Next, we have mode. And let's adjust the camera again so that we can clearly see mode. All right, let's see if this will work again. All right, get that into focus. There we go. All right, so the mode is the data item that occurs most often. And that's the word you want to focus on, the word most. There can be one mode, or more than one mode, or no mode. So there's 3 different answers you can usually get. Like you can put down one number, you can put down a group of numbers, or you can put down no mode. No mode. Over here, you'll see a list of numbers. And you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 8, and 12. The 8 appears twice, so that's the mode. If there had been no second 8, there would be no mode because all the numbers appear once, so none of them appear the most. The last thing we'll have to cover in this section is this right here, and it is known as the range. And the range is a set of data, the range is a set of data is the difference between the greatest and least value of the data set. Okay, what that means is, like if you look back up here at this top part right here, okay? I take the greatest, 12, and the least, 2, difference. We're told to find the difference of something that's subtracting, so I would just subtract. So you see what you have right here? They end up saying, I have 12, my greatest, minus my smallest. I get 10, so the range is 10. That's how many numbers this set of data covers. It's 10 numbers. Okay, so if you need to get those definitions again, remember you can just play back the video and pause it. If you're having trouble seeing because of the quality of the video, you might want to up the quality down in the settings. If you can't do that, always just open your textbook up to page 139 and you can look at these definitions. But they do need to be copied into your notes. All right, now let's take a look at how to actually do all of this. Ba-boom, there we go. I think we're in focus now. Remember, 139. All right, let's take a look. Let's say you're told to find the mean, median, and mode and range of some numbers. All right, let's get going. So here we have 1, 2, 4, 5, 5, 6, and 9. Okay, so we're told to find the mean. And the way I like to think about this is the mean is mean. It's the one that requires the most work, okay? It's the one that's going to make you have to add and divide. Ugh. So, you got to add all these numbers up. So you can, write your column or write them side by side, however you do it. If you want to write down, a 1, 2, 4, 5, 5, 6, 9, and then add them up. So long, don't care how you do it, so long as you get the right answer, you're good. So if we add all these up, we end up with, add these together, you get 3. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 5 is 12. 12 plus 5 is 17. 17 plus 6 is 23. 23 plus 9 is 32. So now we need to divide. So we now need to divide 32 by, how many numbers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 numbers. So we set up our long division. We say 7 goes into 32. How many times? It goes into 3. Nope, goes into 32. Okay. Goes in there, what? We got 4 times, right? Multiply back. You end up with 28. You subtract. You get 4. Put your decimal. Put your decimal. Bring down your 0. 7 goes into 40. How many times? 5. Multiply back. You get 35. So you get a 5. Bring it down. How many times does 70 go into 50? Boo. Well, that would be 7 times. Multiply back. And we're going to stop right there for a second because typically the directions are going to have us round to a certain number. And here I want us to round our answer to the nearest tenth. If our answers are not whole numbers, we're going to need to round them either to a whole number or a tenth usually, okay? Sometimes you'll see it says round to the nearest hundredths. But whatever it tells you to round to, remember this is the tenths place. This 5 is in the tenths place. You have to find the number past that so that you can know, do I need to round down or round up? Okay, so I have 4.5 and I have a 7. Do I round this to 4.5 or do I round it to 4.6? Well, this number is bigger than 5, so I round it to 4.6. So my mean is going to be 4.6. All right. our next numbers should be a lot easier to find. So when we're told to find the median, first thing we're going to have to do is make sure the numbers are in numerical order, okay, from least to greatest. And it looks like they already are. Sometimes they're not, so you got to check that. So here we have which numbers in the middle. I like to cover up like this. I cover up these, and these, and these. Oh, it's a 5. Odd numbers make it easy for us. So we have the median is 5. So what's the mode going to be? Mode. It's the number that appears the most. I feel like this is Dora the Explorer, like I'm waiting for you to answer. But you can't hear me. I mean, you can hear me, but I can't hear your responses because this is a video. Awkward silence. All right, moving on. What number appears the most? Well, I hope it's obvious that it's 5. If it wasn't obvious, some people need glasses. Next, we're going to do the range. I'm going to put it over here. You don't have to put it here. If you wanted to put it down here, you could. Range. What does the range equal? Well, you take the smaller number and the bigger number. Remember, you do subtraction. Say 9 minus 1. You get 8. So 8 is the range. And that's kind of a refresher on how you do these kinds of problems. Now, before we finish, I do need to go over a last few things with you because there's 2 other types of problems they can ask in this section. They're real easy, though. One is how many modes. So in our first example, it doesn't want to know what the modes are. It just wants to know how many modes we have. So I noticed that I have 2 64s. I have 2 68s. And I have 2 65s, okay? No numbers appear 3 times, so these are the numbers that appear the most, and there's 3 of them. Now, if I was asking for what are the modes, you would have to put down 64, 68, and 65. But this wants to know how many modes. So the answer for this is 3. 3 is the actual answer for this question. Next we have Tim, Bob, Ron, Bob, Jimmy, and Alex. Whose name appears the most? Bob. Bob. So Bob is the mode. But how many modes do we have? We only have 1. Only have 1 mode. Next, with our last problem, we're told to find the outlier in each group of data. We only have 1 group of data here. We're told to find the outlier. An outlier is a number that is much larger or smaller than most of the numbers in the group. 4, 7, 3, 39, 11, 9, 13, 5. Is any one of these in particularly larger or smaller than the rest of the numbers? Yes, you're absolutely right. There is a number that is smaller than the rest of the numbers, and it is larger. It is this one right here, 39. Write your notes down. Ask questions in class. Bye-bye.